Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Bob's Transportation Podcast, the first of its kind. I am Alonso Garcia, your Fleet Safety and Compliance Manager, and also one of your hosts of this show. Joining me today and every day is Angelo Casimo. And you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. For those of you who have not met me so far, this is Angelo Casimo. I'm the Senior Manager Fleet Safety for Bob's, and we're here looking forward to doing this podcast with you. Do we call this BTP? Do we just shorten it up, or what do we do?
Right now, it's a working title, so we're going to call it whatever we need to call it to get this thing recorded.
BTP. All right, we got it. Yeah, this is an exciting new thing for us, and Alonso, why don't you tell everybody what we're doing with it?
So the goal of the podcast is, as always, with everything that the safety department tries to bring to our drivers, is keeping them informed, right? You know, up to date on the latest new and exciting FMCSA regulations. I know everybody loves keeping up with all the crazy, kooky things that the FMCSA has got going on, keeping everybody updated on, any kind of trucking related topics and issues that we need to keep them informed on, but also trying to keep them a little bit entertained during all those hours they're spending behind the windshield. And this podcast was your idea. What brought this idea on a little over a year ago?
Well, people don't know this, but I invented podcasting. So
a little known fact.
Yeah. Google it. You'll see it there. But no, in reality, as I drove for years and years, I love listening to podcasts. So why not use this vehicle to get messages out to our drivers, right? Entertain them for a little bit while they're driving, put a little comedy in there, and at the same time, maybe get across some training items, or like you said, any new regulations, etc. So that's kind of what spearheaded this. And with as many drivers as we have and how much time they spend behind the wheel, perfect way to get to them. We can't always see them every quarter, so this will get us into the cab of the truck with them.
It's a fantastic idea, which is why I'm here. I'm only on board for fantastic ideas.
There you go. Speaking of being on board, why don't you tell everybody about your background a little bit here?
Sure. As of the recording of this podcast, I've been with Bob's a little over 7 months, and I come to Bob's from mostly a manufacturing background. I did spend 6 years of my working career working for a little bit smaller trucking company here in Joliet, Illinois, at about 14 trucks. And like I said, I ran their day-to-day operations for almost 6 years while the owner was out over the road getting the job done. I would do invoicing, take care of our backhauls, keep track of our maintenance schedule, basically just keeping everything rolling smooth while the boss was away.
Nice.
Ange, what you want to give a little bit of your background?
Yeah. So I guess long story short, beginning of my employment career as an adult, got into policing. So I spent about 4.5 years working for a local police department. I was a police officer on the midnight shift. And even at the midnight shift, I had my fair share of interactions with truck drivers. So I did a little bit of commercial truck enforcement, not a ton, but enough to dip my feet into it, and ran across a trucker that said, hey, you should consider buying a truck. It's real lucrative. You can be in and out and retire in 3 or 4 years. And so I drank all of his Kool-Aid and left a perfectly good job with a great retirement to purchase my first truck. I didn't even have a CDL. So went out and bought a truck, bought a trailer, got my CDL A license, and hit the road, right? Made a school of hard knocks, made all the wrong mistakes, and continued on and built the business up over the course of years. And 19 years into it, made my departure, sold the bulk of the company off to one of my competitors, and took a little bit of time off, spent it with my daughter, and then came aboard here at Bob's to work safety and compliance and maintenance with them. So here we are, almost 3 years, and it's happened in a blink of an eye, really, really quick. So time flies when you're having fun, and we set up a great program here. So maybe you can tell everybody a little bit about what they can expect to hear on this podcast in future episodes.
Sure, but before we get into that, I'm just going to ask you one quick question.
Here it comes.
Do you ever wonder what that guy that gave you that great and valuable information about getting into trucking 19 or 23 years ago, however long ago it was. I just want to know how many years you think he's been retired by now.
Knowing what I know now, I'm sure he's still out there working. He's not retired. Also, knowing what I know now, instead of 19 years of that grueling grind running my trucking company, I'd have just come driven for Bob's.
That would have been a wise choice.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that.
But in all honesty, 19 years ago, we didn't know what Bob's Discount Furniture was. I don't think they were in our area yet.
It wasn't. Again, if I knew then what I know now, right? Isn't that the magic saying?
That's just a testament to how quickly we are growing and all the great things that we've got going on with Bob's Discount Furniture. But as far as this podcast goes, speaking about the future, I think you touched on it a little bit earlier, right? The intent of this podcast is, keep our drivers informed, pushing the safety topics that we talk about during our weekly safety tips and my frequent messages that I'm sure the drivers love every Monday and Friday on the Samsara. And just, keeping the safety culture here at Bob's Transportation alive, right? We need to practice what we preach, get our word out there, and keep the message constant and strong.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for communication within an organization, and I think this is going to be a great tool to get that communication out with our drivers, right? And I'd like to see the future of this podcast do that in a way that's informative and entertaining at the same time. And heck, who knows? Maybe every once in a while we can do a little bit of trivia and give away some prizes. I think our drivers would appreciate that. And hey, you never know. You could be on the podcast one day. By you, I mean drivers, because I'm looking at you across the table and you're already on the podcast. So. That
is very true. I'm already here and I'm looking for the exit. But if I can't find it, I might as well drag people into the fire with me. So drivers, managers, everybody that works for Bob's Discount Furniture, we are definitely going to be on the lookout in the future to get some guests on the show.
Nobody's safe.
We will ask anyone, and I am not above begging.
All right. Well, as our just quick introductory episode, anything else you want to relay to the drivers before we end it?
I think this introductory podcast, introducing ourselves, letting everybody know what's going to be going on, is going to be short and quick, just like we thought. And I just hope that everybody is ready to see what we've got in store for them.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to this. I think this is going to be a fun ride. And here's to, I don't know, what do we do? Celebrate episode 1 or do we celebrate episode 100? I don't know.
Well, we're going to celebrate the first one, wipe the sweat off our brows, because this was a lot harder work than we thought. When we do make it to episode 50, we're gonna have a party.
There we go.
There's going to be Jersey Mike subs somewhere.
Yeah, let's, if we mix it with the quarterly safety meeting, we get to have that anyway.
My favorite.
All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. Be careful out there on the road and stay tuned for future podcasts.
Keep it safe, everybody.